Hello, good morning. Demikis as always. Mwena abagenda okulaba video sorry there is no notice because of the schedule. I've been working so hard. I'm so tired. Thank you everybody who's gonna watch the video. Thank you everybody who's gonna share the video. And thanks everybody. Olwaleero tugenda kukwatagana ngenda kasavu kanyama. Tugende maaso. Omukyalo ono atugamba tewali ssente z'abasomesa, ssente z'e Uganda zigenzeewa. Atugamba kaakati ssente zigenzeewa ze tutalaba wano zaatugamba nti zigenze ez'abasomesa, bakuba amasasi bakola batya ebintu byonna ebifaanana ng'ebyo tetugenda kubikkiriza, twetaaga ssente. Now then, education. Did you know? Kati tusimbudde tugenze. Now, education. Education is one of the ways somebody can have a bright future. To education. Education is the best investment. Education is the foundation that a country should be built on. A teacher will teach a nurse, a teacher will teach ministers, a teacher will teach anybody. Everything starts from learning. Even me as a Muganda, if you are not wherever, if you are going to get married, you have to go and be educated by your aunties. So education, everything you have to do. How do you start fire? We've been a long way. We've been in fire. We've been in Stone Age. But things, they have been changing from Stone Age to cyber world to this to digital era because of education. In any form of education, don't feel alienated when they talk about education, because everybody is educated in a second way. But my main point I want to talk about today, there is lack of pay in Uganda for teachers. Where is our money gone? Janet Museveni is not qualified to be as a minister because she doesn't have the qualification. And I'm going to tell you the problem. How did Janet become a minister of education? Our constitution will tell you President Museveni will appoint, will nominate, will appoint somebody for Minister of Education. But what happens after that? In the national interest, Ugandans are stabbing Uganda for the wrong reasons, are shooting Uganda down. Education, we are suffering as Ugandans because of lack of education. If we had education being laid in our system, we shouldn't suffer. Judges will come and in the court and decide the court according to the case, to the court from the letter of the law. Nurses will look after patients according to how they have studied. But what happens? We have a minister of education who is not fit to be a minister of education. There is a catalog when you talk about Janet Museveni. First of all, she doesn't have qualification to be a minister of education. Second, all this time she has been a minister of education, she has not done anything. I grew up learning about Bitamazire Namirembe, was the minister of education for a long time. Then Jessica Lupo, this vice president, she came along. Then she lost her constituents and she couldn't be minister of education. So there came along Janet Museveni. But who is Janet Museveni? Janet Museveni is the wife of Museveni. Janet Museveni academic qualification is not there. You remember prior to education, we used to have a catchphrase, Museveni Tana Papula, Museveni Lete Papulazo. That is a very important point. People, they don't want to know that. But that was a very big important, which is, I think, in 2015, they made it as an act, person's information, that if you want to stand for the office of the president, you have to give in all your qualifications. And if you want to be a minister, you must have academic qualification. But where did it go wrong? We have got the vetting committee in Uganda. Their embarrassment. Remember Sabit, when he was vetted to be as the deputy spokesman of IGP, he went with a car in the wrong number plate, and then he was approved. So this is how we are shooting Uganda down. Janet Museveni has been controversial. She's made statement about teenager pregnancy, blaming parents. She's advising people. She's the one person who has been advocating for pads. My dear, I grew up. I was having menstruation cycle. I still do. But that wasn't an issue. It didn't stop me to go to school. Yes, other people, they can. But that wasn't the issue. Why was it no issue? We are having these political peanuts. The people, they use these small things as politics, and the population of Uganda, because they are ignorant, they accept that. That is why the objectives of NUP, number 2, it says access to social services, access to education, universal, quality, affordable. That is what NUP intends to do. The manifesto of NUP, we went to the people of Uganda. We showed them how we are going to manage our country. And we said to them, this is how we are going to manage our country. We are going to pay every teacher 1 million shilling per month as a minimum. And that money is there. No one is questioning that. There is no doubt. The money is there. The money going on horse celebration, the money which is buying of political opponent, the money which is buying for weapons, that money can be diverted. The money for the big cabinet from 7, the money for the big parliament for Uganda, that money can be cut down. I've always said we don't need a big parliament. For me, I advocate, let us have a president, vice president, judiciary minister, and a minister of digital. Everything is gone. We are not having Nabanja. Rubbish Muvubi. Yes, constitution Mali. Yes, we shall have a prime minister. But they'll be demoted of their roles, because we need to catch up. We need to find people with the ideas. We need to find people who can run our country and progress and develop. We don't need people who are there for selfish gain. We don't need that. What we need is education, 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 education for the right people. Our constitution says right for education. Now Janet Museveni, for her, because she's underqualified, she brings in new educational curriculum. I went in the village. I have a school. I'm a director, and I do lots of work. I do voluntary, I do library, I buy computers, I buy books, I buy what? Because I believe community development is the start. And when I went there last month, they said to me, oh, we have got a new education curriculum, but we don't know what is this about. So if you bring in a new educational curriculum, you should not bring it as a politician with guns. You should bring it in front of people. They discuss, they do a research, they say this is right, this is wrong. Before you take it back to the parliament, then you vote against that. Then after you can approve. But the teacher, the head teacher of a school was telling me there is a new curriculum, we don't have access. And also, it's not good for purpose. So the new curriculum, what direction? This is how we are missing, because we are having wrong people in the wrong position. Somebody like Janet Museveni hasn't got a clue that Uganda needs a new educational curriculum, that Uganda needs a remuneration, that teachers, they need to be paid well. Janet doesn't understand that if you pay a teacher very well, it's going to teach children very well. If you pay a teacher very well, we're going to have a stable country. If you pay a teacher very well, the whole country will be educated. The whole country will be on level par. We'll be speaking one language. There won't be any tribalism, because we just use the letter of the law. Don't do this. By principle, I should not do this. People who take bribe, they should be do. This is the difference. It's not alienating people. It's not putting people down. Fortunately, most of people, Ugandans, are educated, but the quality is so low. I was speaking with somebody. She has got a company in the UK. She's back to the masters. I was speaking to her that a cleaner in the UK is better than somebody in Uganda who has got masters. Because these simple principles they apply. These small things they do. But now we have Janet Museveni, who is underqualified. But how did she get there? I want to say this on video. Because go in the tweet of Namboze, go in the tweet of Kiza, the woman who was leader of the opposition. Go in her tweet and read it. This is how Janet Museveni became to be a minister. We are approving wrong people. She went into the vet to be vetted. She didn't have grade. She said, oh, you know, my life wasn't like normal. I don't have grade. Why? We are not approving people who say their life wasn't normal. They don't have grades. On that committee, I keep on saying national interest and unity. When we, NUP, we are coming into power, we are going to be a new Uganda that will harmonize with other people. Let them be NRM, let be UPC, let be wherever they are. We have to harmonize them. All developed countries, all stable countries, they have to allow political parties to participate. And once you are in the government, you must speak to other parties, you like it or not. Not speak them to do bad things, but there is a reason. On this vetting committee, we have got people who sit there. They are not, everybody is not for NRM. You know, that is the reason, before I go to that point, that is the reason Zake was sacked. Zake was our commissioner, was a commission, because they know there is a lot of things he's going to stop. They know Zake, if he stays as a commissioner, those vehicles wouldn't come in Uganda. But we are given a chance to sit on those committees. I have approached so many people whom I know, they sit on those committees because those people were nominated. The list is there. Advisory committee is there. The shadow ministers is there. And this is why I keep on saying to you, Derek Nyeko, our shadow defense minister, she should have access to reasons why Segrinya, they are in prison. He should have access to the information the government has got for them. That is his role. So when you talk about this vetting committee, that who vetted Janet Museveni, who is incompetent, vetted Janet Museveni to be a minister, there were people from other parties. Namboze was there, Kiza was there, I forgot her first name. The lady who was MP for Kasese, Winnie Kiza, was there. And go and read her tweet is there. Even if she deletes it, I've got a photo screen where she said she was among that committee who vetted Janet Museveni, and who approved, but they did not agree. Why did you, Winnie Kiza, accept? Why did you Betty Numbers, accept? You are sitting on those advisory committee for the interest of Uganda. That is how we lose it. We have got so many people on those advisory committees. You ring them, you say, oh, Honorable Rutamaguzi, I know you are sitting on finance. There is a scandal. There is something I've had. Can I have information? They will say to you, okay, I'll give it to you. They don't give it to you. When we talk about Kunga, we are talking about coordination. We need to coordinate. Kunga is never going to happen by one way. Kunga is going to happen by a joint, something joint. If you sit on those advisory committee, you find out they have taken money, you find out there is something dodgy there, you are meant to come out and say it. If you are in countries which are developed like United Kingdom, you're going to find labor shadow ministers. They will come and give that information in the public. They will find a way to leak it up. And something so important that I wanted to talk about. Let us develop, let us have a racket that people who have been squeezed out because they speak for NUP, let us give them sanctuary. Let us give them a place. Let us give them a job. People like Bate, the journalist on PBS, was sacked because they know he's affiliated, he likes NUP. Agatha Atuhale, the woman I've been following, very young, on state what? Fourth state. She's very analytical, independent, but she's the one who broke the story for those deal for the cars. And now, as far as I know, she has left Uganda to seek asylum somewhere. So these are the people we need to think about. Agatha, I don't know, but she's far more objective and independent. But these are the people we need to welcome. These are the people we need to open doors so that will attract other people to become objective and independent. And that means it's going to squeeze NRM, that now people, they will be squeezed up. Because once you are you are not going to to beg to do what? You become objective, you become independent. This is how we can squeeze these people out. So, Janet Museveni was approved as a Minister of Education. But in the actual sense, she shouldn't be approved. In actual sense, the vetting committee, there were people who had a chance to stop it. Even if the number, people, they talk about the number in the parliament. Yes, we are overwhelmed. Yes, they are the biggest number. But there is only one thing can work, which has worked. Robert Kyagulanyi worked, went in the parliament, and he started coming out. I'm not taking that money. You are doing this. Didn't he win? Where are we? So the best way for you who sit on advisory committee is for you to come and say, this is wrong. Janet Museveni is not going to be approved. Because as we speak, you want to tell me there is no money? There is no money to pay teachers. There is no minimum wage in Uganda. So where are we going? How are we going to develop our economy? How are we going to have a nation with one language? When you talk about sectarianism, if you talk about tribalism, if you have one way of speaking that is from education, you don't have all that because you always speak and use one language. This is why in Uganda now, people we're going to speak as Balango, as Baganda, as Bachori, as Basoga, as Buchika, because the language is not there. NUP, Karich, NUP manifesto is going to change the education. First of all, we are going to pay teachers a minimum of 1 million. And should we get there, we shall have to review that. But if a teacher can earn 1 million, that is reasonable. But you cannot pay teachers 200,000 to teach children. So how will your children, they are going into international schools, they are going abroad. So how do you expect a teacher to teach your children when he cannot pay rent, when he cannot buy food, when he cannot buy clothes, when he cannot pay school fees for his own children? Bonaba Some is a failure. Bonaba Some does not work. Bonaba Some is not fit for purpose. But NUP, we are going to have a curriculum, educational curriculum fit for purpose. We shall never let people like Janet Museveni to be Minister of Education. We shall never let people like Nabanja to be the Prime Minister of the country. We shall never let all these people you don't know in the NRM who are ministers, 83 ministers, to be ministers of Uganda. Idi Amin had a cabinet of 16 people. But the cabinet worked so well. He left Uganda without a debt. Now we are into debt of 20 billion. Talk about Idi Amin. Idi Amin was a primary 3 pupil. People, they underestimate people. But Idi Amin did not put himself down. He said, I'm the leader, I'm telling you what to do. He had a team. He chose a team, his ministry, his cabinet. So this is why I tell people, never underestimate anybody as a leader because he doesn't have education or whatever. No! As a leader, you can do like Idi Amin. But the problem as a minister, you cannot be a minister without education qualification. Because as a minister, you are meant to come up with ideas how you are going to run your ministries. Then you pick people who are capable. Then you supervise them. You evaluate them. Then you take accountability all the time. But what we have for now, we are having a Minister of Education who is not fit. Can you believe it? Stella Nyanzi is a doctor. We have Mama Zedriga. We have Rubongoya. We have people like Alex Mufumbira. We have got all these NUPs loaded up. And then over Uganda, 45 million indigenous Uganda. Then you pick somebody who is not indigenous. And then you make her a Minister of Education. When she comes to speak, she's looking down parents. She's detached. She doesn't understand the problems of Ugandans not having education. She doesn't understand. She tells people, use a flask. How much does a flask cost in Uganda? It's a lot of money. So where is the food? When I went to school, we used to have a uniform. We used to have a pen. We used to have what? When my sister was a nurse in Masaka Hospital, she never used to go take any food, take any uniform. What has that happened? Why did they go to the what? To the bush? They said they went to bring fundamental change. But where is the fundamental change? It's not there. The reason Uganda is going down is because of Makerere University has been diluted. What are the reasons why it has been diluted? Poor pay to the lecturers. So if you don't pay teachers very well, you're going to find yourself that teachers, the quality goes down. If we have a good pay to our teachers, we're going to phase out the private schools. That is what we want. As we speak for now, education in Uganda is commercial. You find somebody without no academic qualification, without no morals, without no values, is a school owner under NUP. That is not going to happen. Somebody will be vetted out. Because these people vetting people, they are the people causing us problems. Had Winnie Kiza has better numbers on that cabinet, vetting cabinet, said no, we are not going to approve Janet Museveni, she wouldn't be. What do you do? How do you do it? Come into the media. Once you say something in the media will pick it up and people will retweet, people will comment, people will debate, and eventually omusajja ng'asuula ekigumba ng'agamba Janet nedda togenda kubeera minisita. Naye kati we tutuuse abantu balonda bulonzi akakiiko kali eri mujjukire akakiiko is the same committee who approved Mutabire. The man was dying. Everybody knew he was dying. And then he was approved as governor of Uganda. As we stand for now, we don't have governor of Uganda. When I read the constitution, it says before you do this, the governor of Uganda. The law, the finance, what? So we don't have. So can you see? Sometimes mistakes is correct, but there is some safety pin to stop those mistakes. What has happened that people now, once they elected on those advisory committee, they become mute. They become compromised. They go there to get money. That is their perception, their idiocy. They say, oh, ngenda kulia, manoze, bichi, ngenda kulia. Why? You are letting down Uganda. Can you see those people sitting on the vetting committee, allowing Janet Museveni? What did Janet Museveni bring on the table? It's not funny. You can be a leader without qualification, without grades, but you cannot be a minister without qualification and grades. What does she have to offer? Children, they are not going to school. We need education which is accessible. But when people, they choose wrong people, this is where we are going. NUP has got a good plan, and I can back it up. First of all, we are going to pay people million minimum, and the money is there. Where is the money gonna come? I'm gonna cut down the parliament from 529 to 15 members of parliament. Now multiply that money, and you tell me that that money cannot pay for teachers for 20 years. For all the teachers for 20 years, I buy school materials, I build the toilet, I construct. Now the schools, they're under trees. The teachers, now we have got like the police as teachers, and we have a Minister of Education. So we are going to pay 1 million as a minimum, and the money is there. We are going to cut all this extravagance. Why does the State House need a budget of 600 million per day plus supplemental of 8 so it is like 1.5 trillion. Where does that money come from? So we are going to cut down the budget for the State House. The president, our constitution says, will be paid 3.4 million. Robert Kyagulanyi has proven. He was before a prime minister, MP. Now it is not an MP, but he's still maintaining himself. So 3.4 million will be good. We are going to cut down the salary for member of parliament. We want to make them volunteers. We pay them for food, we pay them for travel allowance because they are representing their people. So for me, I will not pay. I'll pay 1 million to member of parliament. I'll take away the cars and I'll build that Kayola factory. I'll build that Kayola factory. Then NUP is going to change the educational curriculum, which is fit for purpose. School times are different. The times, the owners, we are going to change the educational curriculum. They like it or not. Then we are going to look at morals and values. Who are these people owning schools? If you are being caught with the under children, sexy, teenager pregnancy, you are not going to be a school owner. As simple as that. You are going to be vetted. We together kubera ne voting committee nga tezirumira abantu maaso nga tezibika. When we come to vet, if you don't have qualification papers, togenda kubera bino tebigenda kubera ku sympathy. This is going to be Uganda in the national interest. People like Winnie Kiza, people like Numbers, they will be apprehended. You were on that committee, you vetted, you approved Janet Museveni, you approved Mutabile. Why did you do it? What does it tell you? She doesn't have. So NUP, again, NUP is going to make education accessible. How is that? It's going to be accessible, affordable, universal, and quality. I love this word, universal. What is happening in Uganda? If you didn't go to Namagunga, you are mediocre. If you didn't go to Masagari, mediocre. You look at people who have been in Chitovu. Their standards are good. Look at people in Ibudo, Chibuli. All these are missionary schools. So our education plan is going to work. And we are not going to allow sex predators around people working with the children. Together, we are going to come up with a new education which is fit for purpose. So our manifesto, a promising ebintu ebituufu, which are doable. Because we need to educate our children. We need to educate our what population. Imagine in Uganda, these children who are like from 0 to 16 years, they are 50% of our population. Young. So if you want economy to grow, if you want a country to develop, the fastest thing you lay down is timeline. And you say within 10 years, we are going to make sure every children can access education, any form of education, within a kilometers of 5. When you talk about politics, you talk numbers. You don't talk para, banzi, sebageda, kunsta, no. But when you talk about politics, come up with the numbers. I'm telling you today, 50% of Uganda population, whatever population it is children from 0 to 15 years. So if you want to develop, if you want to have good what? Economy. If you want to develop, you have to educate these young people. You reap what you sow. Akacha mamamera. Okagolola kazibu. So you have to start from baby nursery. You have to start educating these people. Like we are going to write off all our generation. We are all gone. We are all like what? We are all gone. So we need to prepare this young generation. Our education is going to go back and bring in the word age category. I tell you this, I'm going to annoy you. So many people, you call yourself Fenga Bavubuka. You are not a Bavubuka. We are going to have age category. When you say somebody nursery, we know where that person belongs. When you say, oh, somebody is a teenager, we know a teenager, teen, 13 up to 19. Sotobera 20 ate n'ogamba I'm a teenager. You are not teen. Ekigambo teen kisembyayo teen. We are going to have in age category. Nga we are going to categorize people by their age. Nga tewakyaliwo kwekweka. Nga bw'olaba Juliana Kanyomozi. Nga bw'olaba Desire Luzinda. All the time they celebrate birthday bagamba 25 years. Many people, they celebrate birthday tebakugamba myaka. Kati yashewungu yempulire myaka jajo. Aba happy birthday. Tebogera myaka. Abalala bo balowooza nti kivumo ky'amaanyi nnyo ogamba omuntu oli mukadde. Isi kivumo ky'amaanyi nnyo. Nti oli mukadde oli muvubuka. Muba mwebuzaabuza. Our new education proposal in our manifesto tugenda kuleeta age category nga buli muntu ategedde gyagwa. Awo njogera nani? Asumani Basalirwa. Ali ku advisory committee for the old people. Nawulidde ng'abula, instead of proposing pension for the people to retire, yasaba bya Kisiraamu. Politics tagenda kubeera ng'ali half Kisiraamu, half what, half Buganda. No, politics is going to be about policies. When the policy is good for Uganda, the policy will be good for everybody. The problem we have, fetugenda ne tubula. No, Buganda yeka, no, it's not like that. A good policy covers in the interest of Uganda. Because these people who voted Janet Museveni, these are the people who should be apprehended. Because the woman is not fit to be a minister. The woman is struggling. I don't know how good she is as a wife. I don't know how good she is as a mother. This is a woman who turned up on a burial of somebody on a school of London, a man who was pedophile that left children who were having his children, left lots of children pregnant. Morals and values. You cannot hang up with somebody as bad as that. So NUP, a promising good salary, education curriculum, together kuleta gundi, together kuleta age category. We are going to bring in a registration. Together kukola database. Ngeri backed up, it cannot be manipulated, it cannot change. And once we do that, this nila, bitini number, bigana kubera automatic. Can't you see? If Janet Museveni was a good minister, we shouldn't be in a shit like this. She's been a minister for over 10 years. She cannot give any excuse. But she's been a minister for 10 years. Few years ago, Yagamba, she's proud. One of her legacy is to bring the pay for teachers for 380,000. 380,000. Yet in the parliament, in the state house, every day they eat vegetables for 38 million. I repeat this. Janet Yagamba are proud inti abasomesa omusala agutusiza ku mitwalo 38. Naye mu state house balya vegetables zokka, si kawunga Museveni katugamba, si nkoko, si nnyama eri Museveni gye yajja omukyala mu ffumbiro. Mu state house balya vegetables za millions 38 buli lunaku. Ate omusomesa amusasula emitwalo 38 kati zikubiseemu. It is not even 10%. Emitwalo 38 kubisa zizo 38 yali proud nti baticha abatusiza ku mitwalo 38. Naye mu state house bo balya vegetables za millions 38. This is somebody who is detached. This is somebody who is detached, out of touch, doesn't know reality, doesn't suit to be a minister. I say this again. A teacher, Janet Museveni claimed one of her legacies is to get the payment of a teacher to 380,000 shillings, which is like $100 and them in the state house every day they eat vegetables for 38 million shillings. For 38 million shillings. Kati oyinza okungamba those extravagance chovola wanga legislative agenda ekugamba. We are going to cut down to those unnecessary expenditure. These are the things we can't cut down. You tell me per month if we say state house they are not going to eat vegetables for 38 million. They are going to eat vegetables for 100,000. Tell me how much we are going to save. There is a lot of money in Uganda. For Janet, for any minister, for Matia Kasaja, for the minister or Minister of Public Services to come out and say there is no money to pay teachers, that is utterly wrong. That is a fat lie. That is a fat lie. They should go to hell. When you are wasting money on vegetables, when you are giving Museveni's grandchildren lead cars, when you give them sharpshooters, when you are paying Muhoozi to go and take parties, when Balaam is accessing money, when Andrew Mwenda will come with a pickup and they park behind the Bank of Uganda and they pack it up with 500 million, when people like Baby Cool, Chameleon, they have got access, when people like these full figures, they have got, and they say there is no money for teachers. Who do you take Ugandans for? And you say they let Uganda down. They haven't let Uganda down. I said to you before, that have seen a national spirit developing, that now Ugandans, they are beginning to demonstrate. And it is in our constitution. Go and read it. Article 28, Article 29. Demonstrations are allowed. And these, wherever this industrial action is already stipulated in our constitution. But they chose the wrong people. NUP has got the best plan for education, that every child will go to school. Every child will access affordable, quality education. Quality, what do I talk about? It's not about like Namagunga. I keep on talking about Namagunga. Those are Manda Udira, Kubanga we Namagunga. Because those who went to Namagunga, those who went to Chitovu, they are quality. Quality. Gobobo yagala deyola be omuntu yasomera masomero ki. Mnazo nyo okukibagamba. I sort of know amasomero lead of opposition, they are quality. As we stand for now, Uganda esigaziza missionary schools as quality. They are well run. They choose people with academic qualification to be. Don't feel affiliated. Problem in Uganda, we missed the point. And then you serve as there is no way you are going to run a country. No one is going to give you a country. If you have a country and you are not going to put right what is education is about, you are going to put that country down. It's one way we can attract other people. Even people like Mark Zuckerberg, around him. Communication, these people, PR, abakwata chino. Tolowooza nga Museveni should be in charge. Tolowooza nti appointing people, you are just helping them. You are not helping them. It's not the way it is. Tolowooza, so and so, bamuwa chino. But no one. We are breaking down that talk in Uganda. Tim Museveni yajanga naga mwalonda mubi mwakola muti. Education, kintu kikulu. But in Uganda is in a crisis because it's in the wrong hands. It's led by somebody who is not fit to be a minister. There is a difference. A leader sola okubeera nga talina educational qualification. Naye minister should have. Kubanga a leader is just alone around them. Naye, you cannot tell me there is no pay. Nga minister, nga speaker of a parliament, yalese modoka 2.6 billions. Muri bisiru nnyo. You cannot say that. Tosobola kugamba nga Olanya, who was a dead man, you know he was dying in the last hours, then you spend 1.7 billion. Then you bring the body in one airplane, a commercial, a nyonyi chattered. Mwaleta abantu basatu aba COVID, simanyi kavuya, simanyi kawa. Basatu munyonyi mu COVID, ngensinsibe. Nawo omulambo. Zera wade ngende Kampala nagenze n'omulambo. I feel very sorry for those people. Bambi nabade sitegedde nga bali awo mu kibaludde oba ne tugumikiriza. Naye kati bwe baba mazo bakebera ne bagenda. Kati ate ne batuuka okunkoberako ne bajja. Nagenze okulya nga basaba ate death certificate ningaawo tugenze n'omulambo. Okufa kuyitiridde, okufa e Uganda tukutya nnyo, okufa, we get sick into those emotions, ne tubeera ne tuta moving on. Twagala okubeera mu Uganda with the new education curriculum, nti omuntu gwafa nga tutaddewo embeera abantu family bagenda ne bazika. Naye ebintu bino bye twonoona kubanga people, they are not familiar with the death. They are not familiar with the consequence of life. Naye, how do you take this out of people's mind? It's through education. Omuntu n'amanya, I will die one day. Death is my destiny. We need to educate our society. We need to educate our community. We need to educate our youngest generation, how they are going to handle Uganda. But if we have a minister, ngari unfit to be a minister, it is the biggest problem. And before that person becomes a minister, he's being approved in the vetting committee with the people there who should put the national interest. There should not be fear. Agatha Atuhare, she's left Uganda because she broke down the story of the vehicles of the speaker and the deputy. And that should be to those people who are sitting on those advisory committee. Abazituulako abo nze mbabeerako buli kaseera mbeera ku peegi zaabwe okulaba ki kye bagamba. They have to leak out the information. This is the one way we can get out of the dictator. Dictator, if you want to get out of him, you get to the people around him. Dictator bw'otyo bw'okola. Bw'osirikira obeera osaddaase. Bw'osirikira otudde ku advisory committee ona information, Matiya Kasajja yabbye ssente, Gundi yakoze atya. Tulina okutema amatabi. Gwe tolabanga Museveni akugamba. Museveni akugambye is going to diffuse diaspora because kati alaba the branch which is supporting NUP to stay alive is what? Is diaspora. Kati akugamba is going to diffuse Uganda. Is going to diffuse people in diaspora. Gokoze ekigwe tokiraba. Kino kye kizibu kye tulina. Electoral Commission kyetutuusaako. Tulina Persons Act eyatandika mu 2015. Abantu balina okulaga obuzaale n'empapula zaabwe ez'obuyigirize nga tannaba kuyimirira. Naye isi etya Museveni tesobola zimusaba. Museveni agenda, after then he comes with affidavit, then he comes with a deed poll because he's running away. Ebintu bino byonna bwe bijja tebibeera bya kuzannya. Bibeera bintu bikulu nnyo. Nze waliwo ekintu kye mmanyi nti omwana omuto bw'abanga ebintu tabitegeera oluusi yeetakula mu mutwe. Oluusi exhibits challenging behavior n'akola ebintu ebigira. Kati ne bannayuganda naffe awo tulemedde. Ebintu bwe tugamba nti tetubitegeera ate tubigoba bugobi. How are you going to attract other people? How are you going to build? Gogenda kufuga otya? There is no way. Ebintu bw'obanga tobitegeera is okay. N'ebibino biri mu Persons Act. Persons Act. Oba togimanyi genda ku nkunnyingi lulwe bamukuba omugonze bu video mbulina yagoberera Persons Act kwe kusaba empapula za Museveni. And it's still outstanding. So, education is into crisis, is into big hole. It has been big. For now, to Janet Museveni, she's the Minister of Education. Ajimazemu emyaka 10. There is no excuse. Teachers are not paid well. Teachers are not paid on time. It is not letting down the country, but it is about them. They must be paid very well. We must have a minimum wage. They must be paid with a salary that can run their cost of living, they can pay their rent, they can pay their transport, they can pay school fees for their children, they can pay for their food. Basics. Bobali mu comfort zone. But you are there in those comfort zone, it's no joke. I'm sure you can feel the heat. Because Ugandans, we cannot take it anymore. We have seen it. You are part of Uganda. And with the NUP, we are going to be on political tables, not iPods. For we are going to apply, we are going to reach everybody across because we are national unity platform. So we are going to go across when we come into power. There is going to be political calmness, political stability, political interaction, political engagement. Until once you are NRM, you will be NRM in peace as a Ugandans. We are going to compete on political issues. We are not going to go for people because, our manifesto said we are going to fight poverty, ignorance, and disease, not political opponents. That is what in our manifesto it says. Kati gwe yesamba body radical. No, politics tagenda kubera bwatu. Do you want to see this? Because once you squeeze people out, the minority, they're gonna feel aggrieved. They will rebel against you. This is what Museveni is up against. So our education, the numbers and the literacy, so many people, they cannot add and subtract. Basic is so down 38%. Even Tanzania to Singa, 48. Kati Museveni went and built schools in Tanzania. 1.6 million US dollars. Museveni has donated money to build a school in Rwanda. Museveni is building roads in Congo. Now in Uganda, that 1.6 million US dollars, can't we use them to pay our teachers very well? Let us start by paying our teachers very well so that we motivate them to join to teach, so that we make teaching so precious. When you go to United Kingdom, being a teacher is one of the biggest jobs. A teacher is the person who is qualified to sign for you, to countersign for you, to confirm, and they don't do it like that. A teacher in the United Kingdom, a policeman. I say policeman teaching in school. How did we get to this? Was it that the policeman, that was the only thing he can wear? What is this? What is that, for goodness sake? I mean, people are now teachers. We should be attracting people to become teachers. We should be making teachers as a high position, because they are teaching everybody, they are educating everybody, they are telling people what to do. If we have good teachers, our country would be stable because we can speak one language. If we have if we have universal education, that means everybody will be doing the same thing. And says zikulakulanye zikulakulana, nogende Scotland chechimu, nogende Liverpool chechimu, nogende Manchester chechimu, genda Malaga chechimu, genda Spain chechimu, genda Barcelona chechimu, genda Atlanta chechimu, genda New York chechimu. Universal checho chibategeeza. Nensi bino Uganda mwana yasomera Namasagali is good. Naye omwana yasomera Sakaramesa is not good. Mwana yasomera Namagunga is good. Mwana yasomera Kitovu is good. Nayunga obuntu bwe nasoma nensoma. Newe natuka mu university nendaba nti university yange yali number 8, kyanuma nnyo. Ate nensi ezimu okuwa emirimu bamala kutunulira wasomera mu university ki. Bakimanyi nti bwoba waliwo university gye wasomera oba ya Eastern oba biki. Bo baba balowooza gwe tosobola genda, tosobola kuwa mulimu. So we need to have universal. We need to have quality. Once we have universal, then quality is going to blossom. But as we stand for now, ogenda n'owulira ng'omuntu akujerega mbu ova Lusaka lwa Mmese. Ogenda n'owulira ng'abantu bajerega nnyo Nina ne bagamba mbu oyo ow'ekyotera. Kubanga balowooza nti kyotera. People are confident with the healthy promotion. Good morning. Yes, Igogama. So education, ensi yaffe bw'ebeeranga bw'eri ng'eri under, kyovola nti we need change of government. At a change of government, how we are going to change it? We are going to change it anyway. We're going to go kunga, we're going to go election. One day this will come to the end. Now, as we stand for now, the family has got more priorities. Abaana abamu basomanga mu lockdown, abalala tebasomanga. Tulina abaana like more than 1 million bavuddeyo nga balina embuto. Tulina ebintu bingi, but what do we see? We see Deputy Speaker, the Speaker of Parliament, 2.6 vehicles. But then the schools, they are leaking. Schools, they are under the tree. What do we see? We see Member of Parliament with the iPads, which they don't use, and we pay internet for them. Rwanda, mchirino on record, yazimba mask 3. Hey, abana bayo bana access to the internet. If kati sente zaffe ze tusasula eza taxes zigenda wa? If we pay taxes, this money should be revealed, should be seen into services. Education should be good. Nolaba nti amasomero ga government oba amasomero malungi, amalwaliro malungi, emirimu weegiri, amayumba malungi n'entambula. Ze sente zaffe ze zirina okugenda. Naye n'olaba nga abantu bagenze owasalimu ssale eggulu n'abawa certificate. Nze ngamba waigundi ngamba w'ekitiibwa. Bantu bangi, they have gone to Salim Saleh. There is also a school of Salim Saleh. I don't know what he calls it. He's given them certificates. No, Uganda tegenda kuzanyibwamu bwetyo. Tegenda kuzanya bwe tunaaba twagala Uganda ekulaakulane. Tulina kwevayo ne tugamba embwa bagiyita mbwa, ekibi bakiyita kibi. Nze gwolaba sirina gwe nnumirako. It doesn't care. It doesn't come to me. It doesn't across me. Whether you are my sister, my brother, right is right, wrong is wrong. Kyobola nti nepotism eyonoonye nnyo Uganda. Nepotism, abantu lack of confidence, they end up having their families around. But when you have a policy, when you build a good country on good foundation, the people, they will understand what the word policy, they will implement the word policy. Ojja kwesanga nti omuntu oyo tagenda kubeera nga yeetooloddwa the families like Museveni. If we had good policies in Uganda, they would say, no, you cannot be a minister when you are the wife. Mu Africa, president's wife is a minister. When we have good policies, there wouldn't be that Muhoozi Kainerugaba yegundi we land forces over his successor. When we have good policies, it will be that Demikiza, you understand policies, come. Nina, you understand the education, health, come. Freddie Lumbuye, communication, come. Then we'll be like that. Fazil Mayanja, you were a teacher. Come and give us your ideas. What do you do in the UK? What is their educational curriculum? What's the difference? What can we do? We have to allow Ugandans to be in their perspective positions. Now we should not allow Janet Museveni. The lack of pay has exposed this woman. She has got a catalog of wrong things. Catalog of wrong things. She has got no ideas. She doesn't care. She just likes to welcome Olympians. She just likes to say, Mzee Munamuwakalu. It's not what we want. Problem, they are mixing politics with the family. When you talk about politics, is to serve the country, is how to decide what is good for the country, how are we going to rule, how are we going to do this for the country, how are we going to develop. It's not like Museveni Munamuwakalu. Mzee Munamuwakalu, and then Mzee will smile. That is not the way. Our president Yatugamba, he's going to be our servant. He's going to be our servant, and we are going to be in charge. And that is what he brings, that a new Uganda is going to bring a new direction. But is going to pay teachers very well. There is no excuse. There is lots of money. We can cut a lot of money. That parliament, we don't need it. We need 15 members of parliament. Give me that. Then I'll bring policies, which is going to send down these people down on their constituents to start serving their people without them coming into parliament. That parliament should go down. We should use Zoom now. Why should people come into a parliament which was meant for 70 members of parliament, but now it's 7 times 7? Member of parliament, they are 559. So they were meant to be 70. They are in a small room. This is why they sleep, because there is no fresh air. It's congested. There is not even a toilet for them. So there is no excuse. The money is there, lots of money. Buno bwamawulire babuwa mitwalo 10, buno obuyimba, buno obuki. Sente zonna zonna bayola buyozi. There is no accountability. Matiya Kasajja bamukuta bye trillion 9 abye endala baguddewo mbu cities for what? We don't need that paparazzi. We are going to go down on ground. There is no reason, there is no excuse that there is no money. Teachers are in Uganda, you can demonstrate because it's your right. If you want to be compromised, come bail out. NUP bagamba, you can have a choice between NRM and the NUP. NUP ekugambye egenda kuwa 1 million as basic salary. Atenga zijja kubeerawo. Atenga n'abaana bo and your family will have incentives. That is what we call a people-centered government. That is what our ideology is about. People power, everything about power. But then this vetting committee, these people who choose wrong people, bagenda kubeera apprehended. Otherwise, this vetting committee tujja kuzijjawo ng'omuntu you apply as a minister, we give it to you as a male. There is no reason even okubeera neba minister. Magufuli ya sacking a minister. Didn't he take Tanzania into middle income? Within nabagambye timeline, basetting emyaka naye batuuka middle income before 5 years ahead. But he sacked the entire Nasikazaba ministers bana. But tubanga tuli mu digital, our manifesto eyogera into digital era to move into. Why do we need these sleeping MPs? Bana ababa weegun. Omuntu bw'aba ayagala okuweereza ebintu bya. Tubanze ku district level. Don't come to Kampala. Stay in your constituency. We give you this position. You stay there. We give you little money. Tewali bawa sente. Sente ze tulina okubawa. Parliament yaffe yalina ba member of parliament 27. They were all ex-retired people, civil servants. Naye nga babawa transport, nga babawa n'enguudo, nga babawa ne food allowance. Kyekyo kyokka. Parliament yaliwo. Kakati bano twetaaga baaki. Ekyo ekifo kya woman MPs ekyo kinsooka okujjawo. Abaana baffe babakwata, abakyala babakuba, abakyala balina ebizibu, abakyala tebalina kino. Mumukkiriza bukkiriza woman MP. And why would you choose a woman MP? We should choose one member of parliament. We don't need to say woman. We don't need to say youth, children, bakadde. Those are lack of policies. Ask me, I will tell you. When I bring in a policy, you're going to find you fit, you benefit. Ne policies isn't ziriwo okugula abantu to compromise kubateekaawo ombeere mu woman MP. What woman MP when a woman is working in the market all the time? You haven't improved their life. What woman MP nga abaana basiba babalwepinga nga gwe woman MP tolina kyokoze. What woman MP nga abaana ba dropping out of the school. What woman MP where a parent sexual abuses a child. Gwe no sirikanga naye gwe nanyini constituency ofuna millions 25 bakuweereddeko ngendo abantu basagana okusaaga. You haven't heard the word what is policy is about, how to implement a policy. When you want to implement a policy, you have to implement it in the national interest, not to suit anybody. A leader should be a leader. A subordinate, they should be there. A leader should not interfere. A leader should not manipulate. Nabade ku airport. Omuvubuka n'atukumira mu n'atukumira mu queue. Kali awo konna kalina bwe kafaanana face mugitegedde. Kakuba bakakutte n'ebipapula ebimu tekabina. Kakuba oli omukuno abeera ku ssimu. Nenga listen, can you put that phone down? Oyo mvubuka muzze wali ffe tukoleko ffe tugende ennyonyi ejja kutuleka. Naye nga ssebo omukulu alemeddeko eventually yatukize. Kati nno tulina ebintu ebyo okubimanya. There is no excuse. Kakali bw'oba tosasula abasomesa abasomesa buli kimu abayimirizaawo ensi. Who are you paying? No wonder if you don't pay teachers very well, you're gonna end up paying 1.6 trillion per day in the state house, because there is no accountability. There is no one who can cost money, who can bring you, who can produce you whatever what and the price list. Very simple. People they feel alienated. Fene twagala byabasoma nedda owasoma anawa akutuusa n'omulimu gw'okola payslip balina okuzikuwa ne hours balina okuzikubalira balina okusalako omusono. Kati there is no reason that Uganda earns 19 trillion per year, but there is no payment for teachers. There is no payment for health workers. Naye Uganda, you make a mistake. One day you come and demonstrate. Second day they give you 1 million, you disappear. You forget short term. Think about long term. Ebintu byetulimu, ensi zetulimu, balwanirira abaana baabwe be batannalaba nga nze sinalaba muzzukulu. Balwanirira n'agasaagala bazzukulu bange babeere mu kino kyendimu. Naye ate mmwe e Uganda muliwo okugamba nti ate nze kino nze kanneeriire. Oliaki? 1 minute. What is your conviction? Balina ebidini bye babasibye balina ebi. Nobeera mfather yayogedde. Yayogedde ekingofa. We are going to fight for our country. We fight for all our country. Our country should have minimum wage. Our country teachers should be respected as number one. They should be paid on time. They should be paid enough money. There is no excuse. These are the people who choose and approve wrong people into these vetting committees. Sabiti nabagambye lwe yagenda okumuapproving as assistant IGP. Yagenda n'emmotoka njirina mu bifaananyi. Wrong number plate ng'ate endalawo. IGP omuntu agenda who is going to bring security and look after our things. He comes into a vehicle with the wrong number plates, but he was approved. Mutabire yali ku deathbed. He was approved as governor of Uganda, Bank of Uganda. Kati twegendereze ebintu gye tugenda maybe abantu baagala njogere ku bigenda in Netherlands. Yes, it's a good move. It's the biggest of the biggest. Mujja kulaba impact ng'evudde ku lunaku olwabadde e Hague ne Belgium. Abantu batono be baabaddeyo, but the impact is going to be enormous. I'm telling you. When you demonstrate like they did, ICC took a note. Maybe that case, they thought they were not serious. They're going to look into that case. They either dismiss, they either what, but they're going to open up that case. European Union, they've taken a note. Ennyinda bw'oginyigiriza evaawo n'etuliko omusaayi. But now Ugandans who are oppressed, they are going to reach everywhere. Whether it's one person, whether it's two person, unfortunately, for different reasons, we cannot be in one place. But let me tell you, it's going to be a significant and big impact. Whoever was there, salute. Thank you so much. Mwebale nnyo mwebalirira. I was gutted sigenda ye. Naye bannayuganda nga bwe mumanyi mu ndongo mwabaddeyo bangi. Kakati tuddaawo, no worries, ffenna tuli bannayuganda. Gwayagala chaka. It's okay. But we are trying to pull you down to this political what? To fight this political battle that it's into the national interest. We shall not approve wrong people in the wrong position. NUP has got the best manifesto. It is 47 pages. I advise everybody to read it. And that section for education is so interesting. How we are going to bring education. If you don't know, write to our policy maker, Mary Serumaga. She's going to reply to you. She's so good. She's so gifted with her computer, with the whatever input skills. But education, tebakulimba. Nina bulijjo mpulira agamba obulamu. Nedda, nina akisobya. Fe aba public health, for aba gundi, story gundi, what? Policy makers will start with education. Netudako health, ne tuddako job creation, ne tuddako housing, ne tuddako transportation. Education, knowledge, omuntu n'asoma n'amanya. Then we qualify as a health. N'atandika okumaking a sensible decision. Then bw'abeera health work oba wherever n'atandika okukola ye employment. Bw'amala okukola then n'alyoka afuna obuyi ssente n'azimba ennyumba. Bw'amala okuzimba ennyumba then n'asobola okugula emmotoka n'atambulako. Nina talks about as health as number. No. We social policy makers, we start with education. You give somebody knowledge, we develop skills. Then you become a healthy worker. When you are healthy, you make sensible decisions. When you are sensible, you are able to work. When you work, you gain money to build your house. When you build your house, then you can have extra money for buying a car, traveling, going there. So that is how it is. Social policy. We don't start with health. It's the foundation should be education. Why education by Why do you think this NRM they send their children abroad? Matia Kasaja, my friend, we come public and say, my daughter is abroad, is telling me it is as if Uganda is on fire. Why do you think Museveni's children, they go to where? Private schools. Why do you think that his schools were open during lockdown for the rich people, but not for the poor people? But however, our article is it says right to education. So that is where we are going to go. NUP, if you right to education, everybody, we promise we have quality, we have accessible, affordable, quality, and universal education. That is our deal with you people. And we are going to pay teachers very well. We shall not live. Tujana kubawa incentives. Tugenda kubawa amayumba agali affordable to rent the houses, social houses. Then we are going to make transport tujja kuteekayo bus endala eza UTC zigenda kukomawo. Zino zi pioneers, Kayola. We are going to have contractors. Nga balina buses zigenda kukomawo. Nga teachers zibatwala at affordable prices. We cannot even have a day pass for those teachers. We should have them incentive tubawe affordable loans, salary nga guva ku mulimu. Bw'ayagala emmotoka agigule from nga bw'olaba Buganda bwekola, Buganda Kingdom. If you want a car, salary loan. So Janet Museveni tolina kyotugamba. Janet Museveni, you are not fit to be a minister. Janet Museveni, you know, for these years you've been in power, the education is bad, is into crisis, you haven't done anything, you don't qualify. You should have given up long time. Are you happy with how our education is about? And why would you blame teachers? Why is it this time? Why do you eat vegetables for 30 millions and you pay them 330,000? You are detached, Janet Museveni. You should change. Those who sit on those vetting committees, be clear and be mindful, because we know you people who approve. Bannayuganda tebabigoberera naye tubigoberera. Good job Mpuga yaguddewo website ate naye agikeeping maintaining, kubanga we are going to get that information, and not now that information we shall use it to apprehend these people. Naye NUP has got the best manifesto on education. Go and read it and see. Ebintu byonna bisoboka. Don't sit down and say it's not possible. I just told you briefly how I'm going to get this money. And they pay teachers very well. Why would I pay MP 35 million? MP njakuwa n'emitwalo 2 nze. Njakuwa emitwalo 2 ombuulire nti wajja kuweereza constituency yo, nti oba wajja kuweereza abantu. Sagirinya ali mukomera, Sewanyana ali mukomera, constituencies zaabwe tezigenda maaso. Kati MP mpa nkuwa sente zaki. Nkuwa zaki. Ng'ogenda kuweereza nsi yo. Abantu bakulonze, ogenze mu bantu, obagambye mujje, mpereze ekitundu kyaffe. Lwaki mba nkusasula ssente? No, that commercial political is gone. It shouldn't be commercial anymore. It should never be commercial anymore. It should be to serve the national interest. It should be to serve the country with your pride. They approve wrong people. They are individuals. They don't work for the country. If you work for the national interest, you should not approve Janet himself. You should not approve Matia Kasani. You should not approve Mutabile. You should not approve Museven. You should not approve Banobana Beturaba. Banita Mungi. Bino byonna bi parliament, bino byonna bi ministers, Chinana Mbasad, Batukasaj, advisors BAM 7. Why should we approve them? We shouldn't. That is what it is about. We are people power, and we should be people power because we are people-centered government. If it is going to be about the people, not about individuals. Temulina people like us will make you very, very uncomfortable. And because it's people power, I'll be with my activism, with my activity what? Nganzikirizibwawo kujigira. So sibine bye Kampala gye bajjayo emundu. Tula, serika. No. Under NUP nze nja kubeera mu activism. President wagamba miliyoni eriwa. Nga nkwata mwoyo Minister of Finance ziriwa zigenzeewa. Ugenda wa okola kinganze byonna nga nkwatamu nga ndaba ssente bw'otazireeta nga n'oyo nina mugago wadda wali ne weekalula amalwaliro gali gatya gaago gavunse leeta ezo zonna ennyumba za Luther Change tugenda kuzijjayo temufaayo ebyo byonna we are going to recover. Mugenda musome NUP manifesto. It says it's going to recover all those stolen funds. We are going to recover and use them for the purpose of Uganda. Bagala tebagala omaba na Uganda nze mbagala nnyo. We are going to be people-centered government. We are not going to choose people like Janet Museveni. No, bantu bangi tunateekayo kale okubeera teacher ate tekifuula minister nalibadde nga atwalitaddeyo Fazil Mayanja can be on that multi-agency disciplinary committee nga tumwebuuzaako eyuke musomesa mutya abantu. Tulina abantu bangi nnyo ba Margaret, bantu bangi nnyo basoma. Tetugenda kubeeraawo Uganda, tugenda kugizza bujja, tetugenda kugizza mabega, and we shall not allow that. Janet Museveni onjogezeza for 1 hour kubanga tomanyi kiki nkulowoozaako. Mwe musinza okwonoona ensi yaffe mugifuuse bubi buli kimu kyonna. Sente ne zirabika ezigula ebinyomo mu bicopa ebigwa. Sente ne zirabika noga nti sente z'abasomesa ziririddawa. America yatuwa sente 98 million US dollars eza hospitality ziririddawa. Uganda mugifudde, we are beggars. Uganda mugifudde, we rely on UNICEF. We rely on donation. Can't we? Nze we nasomera twasomera ku buti. Nga mugenda nga tonnabagenda kusomera. Nga mutema obuti. Ne mubutwala teacher n'abawa gundi homework mudde mutema obuti 10 ate obuteme nga bunyirira bulungi obusibe bando ne tubutwala ne mutandika okubala 1 + 1 2 2 + 2 bonna nga tusomera ku buti naye tetwasoma tetusobola kuddayo ne tuyiya bwe tutyo ne tusala ssente zino zonna bagula ebimotoka bagula bintu byonna kutulugunya abantu kubanga tebagala kuva mu power. Naye mbabuulireko balina ekizibu bambi. They can see they have to go. They can see their time is gone. They can see it. Balina ekizibu nabo balaba nga tebasobola kugendayo. Naye Kagame tukolere ekintu ekirungi. Let me see this in the camera before I leave. President Paul Kagame, do us a favor. You know very well, Muhoozi has tweeted, his country is Rwanda and Uganda. But he wasn't born in Uganda. Museveni said he came to Uganda by God. So Museveni came to Rwanda. All these people, you should take them. They are not too many. I'm appealing to you, President Paul Kagame. These people, they are not many. Come and take Janet Museveni, Muhoozi, Rwabogo, Banaba Museveni, Salim Saleh. Come and take them to Rwanda. I'm sure you have got so many big houses to keep them there. Jango batwale. Nafe tuteleze Uganda. Kagame, yes. Kagame, I'm speaking to you. And I want people, you share this video to him. Kagame, come and take these people back to Rwanda. because they are the problem now. They don't work for Uganda. They are messing Uganda from A to Z. We don't have that time. We don't. They are messing Uganda. We want to clean up. And we cannot clean up with them being in power because they are sacked and hell-bent in power. We want to clean up our education. We want good education, good standards. We want Uganda to go back. Ngabe bali bagamba Cambridge. Makerere was on Cambridge level. But now tetuuka na new harm. Yona. If our education was diluted, kati mwokya ne Makerere University. Mwokya na bizimbe kubanga temwagala gambwako. Leeta empapula n'oyokya Makerere University. People power. Our power. NUP. everywhere NUP. Salute. Mwena mbeere bulungi. Abe Netherlands mbeere bulungi. Tugende mu maaso. Tetukoma Netherlands. Tulina kweyongerayo buli kimu kyonna kigende mu maaso. Mukama wange abakuume. Salute. Thank you for everybody who has hosted me on this platform. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing. You have a lovely day. Today is Sunday, 3rd of July, 2022. Tomorrow is American Independence Day.